What's up, Gear Mortals? Trey Xavier here. On today's edition of Gear Gods Quality Control, we're going to be taking a look at the SEYMOUR Duncan La Super Rica Fuzz pedal. Now let's take a look at some of the different tones that you can get out of the pedal, and then I'll talk about it a little bit. So you may recall that last year we did a massive fuzz pedal shootout on the channel. We put 50 fuzz pedals in a format where you could click around and A/B these pedals against each other. It was super fun. It's still up, of course. I'm sure there's a link floating around here somewhere. I highly recommend that you try it out. Go in there and click around and try out the different pedals and pick your favorite. It's really a hoot. But honestly, I have to admit that before I did that, I did not like fuzz pedals. I actually kind of hated the sound of them. I don't know if it's just spending that much time going through all the different ones, trying the different kinds of sounds you can get out of them. I don't know what it is, but I found my love for them. It's definitely not something that is like the core of my typical guitar tone. It's just not really my jam for the kind of music that I make. But what I discovered is that when it's time to sit down and write a song that would really use fuzz, like a style of music that fuzz is really intended for, I have so much fun. I wrote an entirely new song for this review because honestly, my old fuzz song is played out. Every time I do a fuzz pedal review, it's in there and you guys are sick of hearing it. So it was time to write something new, and I sat down with the pedal and I was just toying around with it, and this song just kind of came out. The sound of the pedal inspired the music. And that, to me, is really cool. So the Super Rica is super as advertised. It's got a ton of cool sounds in here. I was able to eke just a myriad of fuzz tones out of this. And some that I liked a lot more than others, but ones that I know that a lot of people are really gonna love. Now, the main sort of central component here is the switch that we've got: flat, fat, and lean. So that's mostly in regards to the low end. Flat is pretty full sounding, a lot of low end in there. Fat straight up blows out the bass. Like, I don't know if you've ever put like a ton of bass signal through a fuzz pedal before, but it does something real special. It starts to sound more like a synth. It gets real synthy, like a kind of distorted, like mini moog, like ravey thing. I don't really know exactly how to describe it, but you'll hear it in the demo. It's like a, yeah, it's definitely something. It's more than just adding bass. It doesn't just add like a nice low end. It completely changes the sound of the pedal. For the demo playthrough song in the beginning, I used mainly the lean setting for the rhythm guitars. And that's because when you palm mute and there's a ton of bass in the sound, it does that thing. And for this song, I didn't want that. I think I kicked it on to flat for the lead and cranked the fuzz all the way up for the solo part. I mean, it's got top-mounted jacks and a 9 through 18 volt jack, which means that you can run it at 18 volts for more headroom if you like that. This is an extremely bright sounding fuzz pedal. There is no treble control, so the sort of treble sound is locked in. They're mainly concerned with bass and mid-range for this pedal. There's a mid-level and a mid-frequency control, and that gives you a ton of control over the tone. You can scoop or crank up the mid-range for this, and you can choose the frequency that you're boosting or cutting, and that really allows you to dial in a ton of different types of tones with this pedal. Even though it's a pretty compact pedal without a ton of different knobs on it, you can really get a lot of different sounds out of it. And I can't imagine that if you're into fuzz pedals that you wouldn't find several sounds in here that you really like. So I had a ton of fun with La Super Rica, and I think you probably will too. Yeah, overall, very stoked on this pedal. I think for my fuzz sounds, this covers all the territory that I could ever possibly need out of a fuzz pedal. And I think the same will probably be true of you. So thanks so much for watching, guys. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button for more reviews and original content, and I will see you real soon.